Hi there, Logic Language Learners. This is a request video. I really wish I could remember who it was that sent me the request, but it's the difference between meilleur and mieux. Okay, the difference between meilleur and mieux. So, here's what we've got to say. There are previous videos where I have basically said, just for an easy life, when people are really beginners, if you say better, which is 2 syllables, then in French you're going to go with 1 syllable, mieux. And if you are saying best, which is 1 syllable, in French you are going to go with 2 syllables, meilleur. So 2 become 1 and 1 become 2. And that was really a sort of get out of jail free card that probably covered about 70% of the examples. Mainly because a lot of the time when you said best, you were talking about a noun, so my best friend. And when you said better, you would tend to be talking about a when you said better, you would tend to be talking about a verb. So she speaks well, she speaks better. So let's deal with this properly though, because this really does need dealing with. So here are a couple of ideas just before we get going. Idea number 1. If you can deal with bien versus bon, or bon versus bien, you can deal with, you know, respectively, you know, respectively mieux and meilleur. Okay, that's the first point. Most of the time, so I've done a whole video on bien versus bon, and I will stick that underneath. But most of the time, I'd say 90% of the grammar, which affects bien versus bon, which also then consequently affects mieux versus mauvais, is linked to this idea of adjective versus adverb. Are you talking about a noun? Are you talking about a verb? So in other words, with absolutely zero offence intended, there is an American tendency to say good instead of well, which is not formally correct even in the States. It's not. So for example, you will hear people say, you know, honey, did you sleep good? It's honey, did you sleep well? Or was your sleep good? Yeah? So in other words, a thing will be good and an activity, a verb, will be well. Okay? So, this is really important. This basic fact. Are we recognising that we're talking about a verb, in which case we'll be using bien, and then consequently mieux and le mieux, but more on that in a second? Or are we talking about a noun, a thing, and consequently we'll be talking about bon and meilleur, and consequently, you know, le meilleur, la meilleure, les meilleurs. Okay, that's the first idea. There is a veritable storm of problems that come after the expression c'est bien or c'est bon. For example, if I painted a wall for somebody and they said, do you think it needs a 3rd coat? And I said, no, it's good. That would be c'est bon. If somebody said, oh, I like the colour, do you like it? I said, yeah, it's good. That would be c'est bien. If somebody made me a cup of tea to say thank you and passed it to me and I went, oh, it's good, I'd say c'est bon. If somebody said, I'm really, you know, glad that we've got this finished, you know, I'd say, oui, c'est bien. You know, there's different times we use say. If somebody said to me, have we put the paint on the right way? Have we done that correctly? That would be c'est bon. You know, versus, you know, if somebody was saying, have we, somebody found £5,000 and they handed it into the police station and I was saying it would be good, that would be c'est bien. So in other words, it's good in English can be all kinds of different structures and mess. Okay? It's good, it's good, it's good. So I think what I'm going to do, so in other words, in English, what I'm saying is that it's good, or it's great, it's fine, whatever, can in French be c'est bien or c'est bon according to the situation, according to what's going on. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, I'm going to do another video specifically, which is going to talk about c'est bien versus c'est bon. And consequently, as I'm about to explain in the rest of this video, when you use bien and bon, you will know whether you're using mieux and meilleur. So, but that will be in a second video, just so that someone has got that video to watch on c'est bien versus c'est bon. Okay, because bien and bon is and mieux and meilleur is a massive, massive area. All right. So all of that is basically to warm you guys up and say most of the time with mieux and meilleur, as I'm about to explain, you can solve it by knowing if you're dealing with bien or bon. But the shitstorm area, the nightmare area, is c'est bien versus c'est bon. And that I'm going to deal with in another video. Okay, in another video. Which will probably go up at the same time as this video, but I just want you guys to have it as a separate resource. So, let's crack on then. We're talking mieux and meilleur. So, in English, the problem comes from the fact that good and better, good and well, so bon and bien, both use better and best, and they mean something different. So, for example, if I said, John speaks well, George speaks better, Jody speaks the best. So we've got well, better, the best. Okay? So your better and best thing is being used with well. Notice we can also use it with a noun. So for example, my French is good, her French is better, Luke's French is the best. Okay? Or my best friend or something to that effect. So in other words, better and best are both on the good camp and the well camp. In other words, one exists in things to do with verbs and one exists in things to do with nouns. And yet in English we use better and best for both of them. For those of you that like a little bit more grammar, we've got what's called equative, comparative and superlative. So sort of, strong, as strong, stronger, strongest. So comparative would be in comparison to something else. So for example, if it was a normal adjective, Luke is interesting, Father Christmas, Santa Claus is more interesting. So in comparison to Luke, he's more interesting. So that would be the comparative. And the Mac Daddy, the number one, the top, the queen bee, would be, the most interesting. So if we think that basically good, we don't say more good or the most good. You can say good and the most good if you're talking about good as a noun, as in he has done the most good for the world compared to other people. But in other words, if you were just saying as a description, good, more good, most good, which is going to become good, better, best, or well, more well, most well in all this business. So in other words, the comparative and the superlative forms of good and well, respectively, are both in English better and best. That's the problem. The problem is that both of these separate things get mixed in English with the same better and best. So in other words then, to understand how to use better and best in French, we are saying do not divide them. Do divide them. Do not combine them. On the good side, you've got bon, or feminine bonne, or bon with an S, plural, or bonne with an S, plural. So in other words, with good, we've got 4 spellings. Yeah? Male, plural, female, plural. So consequently, going up to better when you're talking about the word good, so bon would be meilleur, basic bitch spelling, M-E-I-L-L-E-U-R. Then add an E, meilleur, or then add an S, meilleur, or add an E-S, meilleur. And then the best would be, or just best if you're talking about a noun anyway, would be meilleur or le meilleur. La meilleure. So in other words, the difference between better and best is not the difference between meilleur or mieux, really. That was just a get out of jail free card I gave people when they're really panicking. The difference between better and best, there is no difference between better and best. There's just whether or not you choose to add a the to meet your situation. So if you are dealing with something where you would be talking about good, or a noun, you're going to use bon, then the words you're going to use are meilleur, or le meilleur, la meilleure. It's all going to be at meilleur. So in other words, your chain of command is going to go bon, meilleur. For best would be meilleur, like my best friend, or so something meilleur, or le meilleur, la meilleure, les meilleurs. So in other words, bon, meilleur, and then meilleur again with a the or another word. But there's no combination of mieux going up to meilleur or meilleur going up to mieux. Likewise, if you were in the bien camp, then going up one would be mieux, and a nice little way to remember that is that bien doesn't change spelling, it's B-I-E-N, so mieux is M-I-E-U-X, okay? So the best, when you're talking about a verb, so she speaks well, elle parle bien, she speaks better, elle parle mieux, she speaks the best, elle parle le mieux. And there's no gender difference on le mieux. Yeah, it's not going to be la mieux or les mieux or whatever at all, because the adverbs don't have gender. It's not like adjectives. So again, before we get started, our two parallel but separate columns are bon, meilleur, le meilleur, and bien, mieux, le mieux. So with that in mind, what I thought would be good if we did some questions from online and we go through the answers together and we have a little look and see whether or not we can, using this methodology. So we've got two things to play for. Method one is to think, would we, if we try to use bon in the sentence, that if we could use bon in the sentence, then that tells me I'm going to use meilleur or le meilleur. And if I could use bien in the sentence, then I could use mieux or le mieux. Okay? Now, I'm assuming that these websites are going to be around for a long time, but just in case they're not, I will put a copy and paste of all the text from these websites in the description underneath. Okay? Just in case they change the questions. Also, a couple of the websites I'm going to pop underneath. I'll give you the links anyway. If you don't want to, if you want to test yourself, then by all means stop the video now and look at the links in the description and see if you can do these questions and then come back to this. I think in one of them it randomizes the question order, so the order that I'm doing the questions in now might not be the order that you get them in. Okay, so let's have a look. This is from the QUIA.com, so Kia. I don't know the website, but I've chosen some websites that I'm happy with the content with. Okay, so the question is: Notre équipe de basketball joue le blank de toutes les équipes. So our basketball team plays the blank of all the teams. So that's obviously going to be our basketball team plays the best. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what is the best or the best? The better or the best? That's the technique. What if I'm saying our team plays the best, what is the best? And your choice is either going to be a noun or a verb. So am I saying our team is the best, which would be our team is the best, which would be a noun, therefore that would be in the bon camp, therefore that would be meilleur? Or am I saying our team plays the best, which would be talking about the verb, which would be in the bien camp, therefore mieux. So in other words, it's our team plays the best, so notre équipe joue le mieux. Now the only difference between mieux and le mieux there is because it's our team plays the best. Yeah, okay? It's the top one rather than our team plays better. Yeah, so the only difference between better and best, really, is whether or not you're putting another word before the meilleur or the mieux. It's not going to cross. Meilleur and mieux are never going to cross. Okay? Good. So that would be mieux. Number two. Je cours blank que je saute. I run better than I jump. Sauter as in sauter potatoes. So I run better. What is better in that sentence? Running better. So run is a verb, so that's in the bien camp. Yeah, I run well, so therefore I run better. I'm in the bien camp, which means which do I need? Mieux or meilleur for the bien camp? I need mieux. Je cours mieux. The bien camp, the well camp, the verb camp gets mieux and le mieux. The noun camp, the bon camp, that camp gets, the adjective camp gets meilleur. So, lovely. Number three. Les joueurs de hockey sur glace. Sorry, les blancs joueurs de hockey sur glace sont canadiens, n'est-ce pas? So the best hockey players, ice hockey players, are Canadian, aren't they? Whether or not you agree with that or not, my ex was from upstate New York, you might find that a little bit offensive. So basically, the best ice hockey players. So what is the best in that sentence? Ice hockey players, that is a noun, so the best ice hockey players, that's a noun, so I'm on team bon, I'm on team noun, which means les meilleurs joueurs. Another way you could tell is that the word the there